안녕하세요, 조코딩입니다. 오늘은 마이크로소프트 AI 투어 행사 현장에 나와 있습니다. 이번 행사는 마이크로소프트의 AI 기술과 고객 사례, 데모를 한자리에서 만나볼 수 있는 행사인데요. 비즈니스 리더부터 개발자까지 AI를 실제 업무에 어떻게 연결할지 다양한 이야기를 들어볼 수 있는 자리라고 합니다. 그러면 지금부터 함께 보시죠. 이제 오늘 행사의 핵심인 키노트 현장을 함께 보겠습니다. 이번 키노트는 Building South Korea's AI Frontier라는 주제로 마이크로소프트 클라우드 및 AI 부문 수석 부사장 스콧 거스리가 무대에 올라 마이크로소프트가 바라보는 AI의 방향성을 공유한 시간이었습니다. 마이크로소프트는 코파일럿, 에이전트, 그리고 세계에서 가장 신뢰받는 AI 플랫폼을 통해 조직의 프론티어 전환을 지원하고 각 조직의 비전과 포부를 안전하고 확장 가능한 비즈니스로 연결하는 데 집중하고 있다는 이야기를 들을 수 있었는데요. 이 메시지는 현장 데모에서도 더 구체적으로 볼 수 있었습니다. 가상의 회사 자바 사례를 통해 업무가 AI로 어떻게 바뀔 수 있는지, 그리고 코파일럿과 에이전트가 실제 업무 흐름 안에서 어떤 방식으로 연결될 수 있는지를 직관적으로 보여줬습니다. 또 이번 행사는 실제 고객 사례와 데모를 통해 AI를 어떻게 비즈니스 성과로 연결할 수 있는지 확인하는 데 초점이 맞춰져 있었는데요. 그런 점에서 이번 키노트는 행사 전체를 관통하는 가장 큰 방향을 먼저 제시해준 세션이라고 볼 수 있겠습니다. 키노트가 AI의 큰 방향을 보여줬다면 이어지는 브레이크아웃 세션에서는 그 변화가 개발 현장에서 어떻게 작동하는지 볼 수 있었습니다. 깃허브 코파일럿이 단순한 자동 완성을 넘어 계획 수립과 멀티 스텝 작업까지 함께하는 AI 에이전트로 개발 흐름에 스며들고 있다고 설명했는데요. AI가 개발자를 대체한다기보다 개발 방식 자체를 더 강력하게 바꾸고 있다는 점을 확인할 수 있었습니다. 해당 세션을 진행한 스콧 한셀만과의 인터뷰에서 더 자세한 이야기를 들어보겠습니다. Hi Scott, nice to meet you.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
So nice to spend time with you.
Okay, thank you. From your perspective, are LLMs more like compilers or search engines, or do they represent something fundamentally new in developing toolchain?
That's a really good question. I feel like they are a kind of a compiler. The problem is that they're not a reliable compiler. You can run the compiler many times and you get the same result every time. But you know, if you do test-driven development, if you have a test that doesn't pass and then it passes and then it doesn't pass, you would call that a flaky test. And you're like, ew, this test is flaky. I need the test to run 100% of the time. LLMs are a kind of flaky test. And that's why it's important for us as engineers to always be in the loop. So it is a kind of a compiler in the tool chain. I just don't think it's a reliable compiler. That's why our experience is so important.
In your view, what does craft means in software when part of the work is now done by AI?
Remember when build servers happen, CI/CD, continuous integration? We used to build ourselves. You used to ask an engineer to cut a build, make a build for me. That didn't change the craft. When I wrote a bunch of tests and I had a test server doing all of my tests, that didn't change the craft. I think it's up to us as engineers to decide how much it changes the craft. Because there can be quality, traditional Korean architecture, or there can just be 3D printed houses. I think that doesn't cheapen traditional architecture. That doesn't make the carpenter's work less valuable. Again, what can we take from tradition and what can we take from the future to make the best merger of both? That's my opinion.
How should we think about agents? Are there more like junior developers or interns or compilers or something else?
I feel like agents are what you decide to make them. So for example, I don't know the programming language Rust. So for me, the agents are like senior engineers because they know more than I do. So I tend to trust them more. But if I do work in .NET or C#, where I'm an expert, then I think they're more like juniors. Right? So if you know nothing, you're going to think the agent is the super smart one. But if you are an expert, you're going to be like, oh, you dumb agents, you're so frustrating. So you have to think about what is your responsibility on the team and what is the agent's responsibility. In my talk here at the AI Tour, you saw me deploy agents and I closed 19 bugs live on stage. But they were simple bugs. I understood them. I know what the problems were. I looked at the code and I did it. None of them were major issues. So small bug fixes, small security fixes, I trust my agents. Big, more interesting work, I tend to have multiple steps. I do planning and I'm more careful. So I think agents are probably more like juniors. But that's for me.
What skills should 20 years old developers be focusing on if AI can already write pretty decent code?
I would call it systems thinking. Early in career developers right now focus on syntax, like a for loop.
No.
It's very small. Like when a horse has blinders on and they only see what's directly in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but as early in career programmer has to take the blinders off and look left and look right and look at the system. So I would say distributed systems, HTTP, DNS, websites. Being able to make a quick website with React, that's kind of a party trick. It's like, oh, yay, that's cool. But make that scalable and put it into production and have 1 million people hit it, that's different. Vibe coding a tool for one is fun, but beginners need to learn how to make large-scale systems, and it's on, I think people like you and me need to teach them.
Basic is important.
The basics, it's the base of the pyramid. It's the
Yeah.
base of everything that we work on.
If AI can generate code, what should a junior developer really be learning on day one?
I think that they should learn limitations, honestly. I think it would be interesting to have an early in career developer, a junior developer, see an AI make a mistake. And then I think that they would feel more in control. They would feel like, wow, this is not a god,
Yeah.
right? It's a fallible machine. It can make mistakes. And I think it's important for the early in career developer to feel smart, to feel brave, to feel capable. I don't want to feel afraid of my computer. I don't want to be intimidated by my computer. I want to be like, hey, I'm in charge. What are you doing, computer? I'm the boss. So I want the early in career developer to feel like the boss. And that requires some study and some work. Yeah.
그리고 이어서 마이크로소프트 애저 AI 파운드리를 담당하는 이나 아레나스와도 이야기를 나눠볼 수 있었는데요. Hello, Ina. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Microsoft Foundry is often described as an AI app and agent factory.
Yes.
What does that really mean? And what makes it feel truly end-to-end?
So you've seen that over the last few years, we've had an explosion of models in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
But in order to successfully leverage those models, developers don't need just access to that model. They need a platform that they can trust end-to-end. They need the ability to run evaluations. They need the ability to build agentic solutions that connect to tools, to memory, to knowledge. They need the ability to observe those, right? To run monitoring and tracing. They need the ability to govern all of those solutions when they build them, to understand, are they behaving like they should? They need the ability to run policies and guardrails, especially if they're developing the solutions in the enterprise.
Yeah.
All of that end-to-end is what Microsoft Foundry offers. So it's not just access to a model. And we have the largest model catalog out there with over 11,000 models.
Wow, 11,000.
Yes, but it is how do you take the best model for your use case
Yeah.
and being able to build a solution that helps and leverages your data and your context. And that's what Foundry offers.
What are some of the latest Foundry's updates you're most excited about?
We just recently released Foundry hosted agents, which is the ability to take all of your code that is running your agents. Imagine you're writing an agent in Codex or Copilot for CLI or maybe Cloud Code. And then you want to move that agent from running locally to being running in the cloud. You can do this with Foundry hosted agents so that you can run your entire agentic solution end to end, connected with observability, connected with tracing. If you're deploying in the enterprise, connecting with IDs and identity so that the agents can act on behalf of a user, access APIs, use auth flows, all of these capabilities we offer in the platform in a very simple way for developers so that they can scale all of their ideas and take them from an idea to code and from code to production.
We've been seeing new approaches like OpenClaw, and more recently, NemoClaw announced that GTC. How is Microsoft thinking about this direction, especially when it comes to building more capable agent system?
We see a lot of developers starting locally and then moving to the cloud. And where we focus our energy is how can you make that securely? You've probably also heard about all of the security challenges that have come up with OpenClaw, right? So our focus is how can we empower developers to run these agentic solutions, but to do it in a secure way. When you know that they have an isolated environment, that they have a set of curated tools that they can access, and that their runtime is being protected, right? So it will not like sneakily go and access for like credit card numbers or things like that without like you as a developer being always in control. And that's part of the things that we offer in our Foundry Agents platform. So that you can develop your agents in your favorite framework and then bring them into production. And you know that you can apply guardrails, you can apply policies, you can give it permissions. And so it like creates this environment where they can safely operate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
인터뷰에 이어 워크숍에서는 AI 에이전트를 실제로 구현해보는 시간도 이어졌습니다. 이번 핸즈온 세션에서는 코파일럿 스튜디오로 에이전트 기반 솔루션을 처음부터 끝까지 만들어보는 과정을 현장에서 경험할 수 있었습니다. 그리고 행사장 곳곳에는 부스존과 라이트닝 토크 같은 다양한 프로그램이 함께 운영되고 있었는데요. 최신 AI 기술과 데모를 직접 살펴보는 현장 분위기 속에서 이번 AI 투어가 단순한 발표를 넘어 실제 사례와 실습, 네트워킹이 함께 이루어지는 자리라는 점을 다시 한번 느낄 수 있었습니다.
지금까지 마이크로소프트 AI 투어 서울 행사 현장을 함께했습니다. 오늘은 키노트와 다양한 세션들을 통해 AI가 비즈니스와 기술에 어떻게 연결될 수 있는지 함께 살펴봤는데요. 여러분은 이번 행사 어떻게 보셨나요? 자유롭게 댓글로 의견 남겨주시길 바라며 지금까지 조코딩이었습니다. 감사합니다.